Think you've seen it all with sports cars? Think again. The 2025 Porsche 911 GT3 RS is not just loud, it's a symphony on wheels, engineered to dominate tracks and turn every head on the road. But is this new beast worth the $200K plus price tag? Let's dive deep and find out. The 911 GT3 and GT3 Touring received several changes for 2025, including redesigned LED headlamps, a redesigned front diffuser and spoiler lip, and modified underbody air guides for improved aerodynamics and downforce. Mild suspension geometry tweaks and components have trickled down to the GT3s from the RS, and both cars, regardless of transmission, get a shorter final drive ratio for quicker starts. A Visoc package is available for the GT3 that features extensive use of CFRP, carbon fiber reinforced plastic, for the roof and aero elements, as well as specific suspension components. Leather and Racetek's upholstery touches augment the interior. The GT3 Touring offers the lightweight Leichtbau package with similar CFRP suspension bits, forged magnesium wheels, and a lightweight battery. Finally, rear seats, unavailable in the previous year, return to the option list on the GT3 Touring. The price of the 2025 Porsche 911 GT3 RS starts at $224,495 and goes up to $243,295 depending on the trim and options. Porsche offers two slightly different versions of the standard GT3, the basic winged model, and a touring variant that tones down the racy look by nixing the big rear wing and dressing up the interior with black leather on the steering wheel, shifter, and upholstery. And then there's the hardest core GT3 of them all, the RS. It's hard to pick a single winner of the trio as they're all incredible cars, but our hearts belong to the absurd GT3 RS, the closest thing yet to a 911 race car for the street. Fuel economy and real-world MPG. The EPA hasn't issued 2025 fuel economy numbers yet, but the 2024 911 GT3 and GT3 RS are rated for 14 mpg city and 18 mpg highway when equipped with the automatic transmission. Going with the manual transmission drops the city figure to 13 mpg, but ups the highway figure to 19 mpg. The EPA pegs the 911 GT3 RS at 14 mpg city and 18 mpg highway. Once we have the opportunity to run one on our 75-mile-per-hour highway fuel economy route, which is part of our extensive testing regimen, we can evaluate its real-world MPG. For more information about the Cayenne's fuel economy, visit the EPA's website. Interior, comfort, and cargo. The GT3's interior is very similar to the rest of the 911 lineup, with a clean design and simple layout that pays homage to past iterations of Porsche's quintessential sports car. However, there are a handful of unique characteristics throughout the cabin. The GT3's gauge cluster still features a prominent analog tachometer flanked by digital displays, but it gets a specific GT mode that puts all important information directly on the displays surrounding the central tach. The RS model gets extra steering wheel controls to adjust the adaptive damper's rebound and compression levels. Models with the PDK automatic transmission also replace the stubby center console shifter found on the regular 911s, with a traditional-looking lever that mimics a manual shifter. Porsche also offers more than one style of front seat, with a set of lightweight seats with a folding backrest available as an option. More than just slightly modified racing seats, they include power adjustments, heating, and an integrated thorax airbag. Notably, part of the headrest padding can be removed to make additional room for drivers wearing a helmet. As an alternative, customers can also order the 18-way Adaptive Sports Seats Plus. If practicality is what has stopped you buying a GT3 to this point, the Touring's optional rear seats might be just the push needed to pull the trigger. Infotainment and connectivity. The infotainment system found on the regular 911 finds its way into the GT3 version. That means a 10-point-inch touchscreen inhabits the center of the dashboard, and is supplemented by some physical controls on the steering wheel, as well as on the center console. The Porsche's connectivity features include wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, as well as a Wi-Fi hotspot. There's also an option to upgrade to a Bose stereo. Overview. After a brief hiatus, Porsche has slid the 911 GT3 and 911 GT3 Touring, the latter now known officially as the GT3 with Touring package, into production as 2025 models. They join the intense GT3 RS to create the holy trinity of the 911 lineup. The GT3 and GT3 Touring feature a round of focused updates for 2025, and the GT3 RS mains the preeminent and undeniably brilliant track-focused pinnacle of Porsche's consumer lineup. All feature the venerated, naturally aspirated flat-six engine and elevate it to new heights. The 4.0-liter unit makes 502 horsepower in the GT3 and 518 in the GT3 RS, producing an intoxicating soundtrack all the way to its 9,000 RPM redline. The chassis is a sharper version of the 911s, tuned, tweaked, and fortified with a control arm front suspension design that Porsche says is derived from the factory's 911 RSR and 911 GT3 Cup race cars, while the rear wing found on the GT3 and the even larger wing on the GT3 RS. The 2025 Porsche 911 GT3 RS isn't just a car, it's an experience. If you're lucky enough to get an allocation, this may be the last of its kind before EVs take over. Love car reviews that go beyond the spec sheet? Hit that like button, subscribe to Zero to Dream, and comment your dream Porsche below. We've got more track monsters and budget builds coming your way. Stay tuned.